Chini ya 2% ya Wakenya ndio ambao wanautambua haswa mchezo huu ambao unajulikana kama vile Frinsbee, mchezo ambao mizizi yake basi imetoka katika nchi ya Canada. Ungana nami Dr. Mtua Skofu nikueleze zaidi kuhusu mchezo huu ambao unazidi kukua humu nchini.
This game is called Ultimate Frinsbee and it started way back in 1957 in New Jersey, and then it came to Kenya back in 2010. Initially it was for the few people who they were coming, like they were playing, it was like it's fun, and then people saw an interest like this can be very athletic and very nice. So it's when it was introduced. The hub of Frinsbee was back in started way back in Kisumu. That was the hub where the whites were coming for work and then they could meet and play. So they started training people, and that's why it gained this popularity until it's being played today in Nairobi.
It's a grass tournament and the beach tournament, and the sizes of those two fields are different. But in the grass tournament, which is so common in most places, you'll be doing like more of your watchings in the grass tournaments, is 100 meters long with 2 end zones which are 18 meters long. So you're left with a playing field of around 64 meters in between. And in the field, the 100 meters, there is a division called the break point, which is like 10 meters from the end zones. So if you pull the disc out and someone calls for a break, he takes the disc to 10 yards into the field. And with the end zones, it's 18 meters, but the width of the field is around 37 meters.
Kinyume na michezo mingi duniani, mchezo ambao wanaume hucheza peke yao, mchezo huu umegawanywa mara 3. Kuna kitengo cha wanaume, kitengo cha kinadada na kitengo kinachohusisha wanaume na akina dada kwa pamoja, na unashirikisha wachezaji 7 kila upande.
There's a category, there's a bit of categories in Ultimate Frinsbee. We have women open, we have men open, and we have mixed open. Mixed game. So men open is not so much in Kenya and Africa at large, because we are still growing this game in this continent. And women open is also not much. So in Africa we are still doing mixed, because this game is a bit unfamiliar to a lot of people. So here we play mixed, and women are on women, men are on men, unless there's a strategy that the team is employing. You can find that there's one bit of the defense that is called the cap, the zone, whereby we are sending 3 people to mark 1 person. So we are marking space, and then there's 3 people, 3 in the middle, and then 1 washing deep. So in such a situation, you can find even 3 women are marking 1 man.
In football, there is a midfielder. So in the midfielder, his main work is to supply the ball. So in Frinsbee, the handlers supply the disc. They act as the resets when you can't get a player in front, if you can't get a receiver. So the handlers basically supply the disc to every person in the field. Yeah, and the cutters, their main work is to finish the point. It means they should be attacking the end zone all the time, coming for the disc, shallow and deep. So in my perspective, the handlers, if you relate with football, are like the strikers. They finish the game. Yeah, and the ace is like the first person in the stack. The stack is a line that is created in the middle of the field by the players to create space in the field, and the ace mostly acts as the third handler. So you have the first handler, the co-handler, and the ace, who is the third handler. If the handler doesn't get the cutters and the second handler, he turns to the ace. Yeah.
Timu moja kusimama pande moja na kukirusha kidude chenye umbo la duara, na mchezaji wa timu ambaye itakipokea ushambulia hadi upande wa mwisho wa wapinzani, na wakifanikiwa uzawadiwa alama 1.
If you can just see, you can focus over there. That person has shown a hand signal, and that hand signal tells that they are ready. And if you can see that person over there with the disc, there's a person over there with the disc, and that is a pull. So that is the game has started. Remember, those guys scored, and if they scored, they remain there, and then these people came here for a restart of the game. So that is a handler, and then passing to another handler, and then you can see there's a bit of problem over there. So that problem is because that player traveled. We call it a travel. When you have the disc, you're not supposed to move. You are supposed to stand and start pivoting, just like netball, if you're familiar with netball. So you just pivot, that pivot, and then you have 10 seconds to make you have 10 seconds only to make a throw. So in such a situation where he doesn't have a marker and the marker comes, he will be counting stall 1, 2, 3. When it reaches 4, so that was a turnover, and it's just trying to see where it goes. So they are trying to score here. Remember, this is the end zone. So they are coming over here and they are trying to score, and they have a defender. So that is what makes it very frustrating.
Mchezo huu unahusisha mbio, ujuzi na maarifa, na unaruhusiwa kukaa na kidude hicho kwa sekunde 10 pekee.
We have different roles in the game. We have the cutters, we have the handlers, and on top of the handlers we have a co-handler, and we have someone in front of the stack who is an ace. So it really depends on just the commitment and the skill of the game in throwing. Because if you're slow and you can really throw far and accurate, then you don't really have to be so fast. But it's a sport which requires speed, it requires agility, it requires game IQ. So as much as you don't need that, you still need to keep fit. Yeah.
This game is too much athletic, and you might not play it full time. You'll get exhausted. So just like we call it this handball. You know, handball, there's a bit of you can get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out. This is the same as Frinsbee. Frinsbee, you can get in and get out 100 times, 1,000 times, unlimited times.
Na wengi wanaocheza mchezo huu wakiongozwa na mwanadada Agisa Lauren wana lengo la kucheza kwenye ligi zinazotambulika duniani, wakiwa na matumaini ya kuiwakilisha Kenya siku moja.
Before I started playing, while I was watching them, my objective was just to know the game. But after I joined the game, I actually realized there are so many opportunities, including playing pro, playing internationally, playing nationally. Although there's still not a national team like in Kenya, there are so many international teams that keep on recruiting people from this country. So my objective is actually one day to be able to join the international teams, the United States teams, Canada team, and if this country would have actually accepted this as a national game, I would really love to play as a Kenyan Frinsbee player and actually represent the country in international tournaments.
Na kidude hiki ndicho ambacho kinatumika kucheza mchezo huu ambao unajulikana kama vile Frinsbee, mchezo ambao unazidi kueneza mizizi yake humu nchini, lengo kuu likiwa ni kukuza na kuhakikisha kuwa watu wameujua mchezo huu wa Frinsbee. Nikiripotia runinga TV 47 michezo, naitwa Duncan Tua, askofu.